name is Michael Ibia. I'm the co-founder and chief executive officer of ADE Digital here in Lagos, Nigeria. We had always wanted to do this, but we thought, we needed the right time to come into the market and start this business. We called my partner, my co-founder, Samson Aligba, in 2013 about the idea for a digital marketing agency in Nigeria. Basically, it spurred from the fact that we didn't believe the services were being offered rightly as regarded digital marketing in Nigeria. And we started working on the idea from 2013, early 2013, and then we came live November 1st, 2014. The key passion for bringing the idea was the fact that we had so many concepts or ideas on how to innovate in this space. We wanted to be beyond just a marketing agency, but basically a digital business firm that's focused on growth and performance. And it was a vision and passion that made us to start the company. It's been an amazing journey. It's digital, it's technology, so there happens to be quite a lot of opportunities in the space, in the market that we're in. Of course, we started in a very strong way, bootstrapping, and we've been able to achieve fairly an amount of success in the industry and in the market as well. So it's been a very interesting ride, challenging, however, very rewarding. We started this journey simply because we wanted to innovate. Basically innovate in products, innovate in services, innovate in solutions in various industries in Nigeria, most importantly in African markets, where we know that there's still a lot that needs to happen when it comes to technology and digital. So ADE innovates is more like a statement, and we say ADE innovates. So you could see it in our communications, in our email addresses and other things that we use for communications. But basically it was to say we innovate, and that's what we're for. And so innovation is really critical in the things that we do at ADE Digital. We've driven growth in different ways. Fairly enough to say that growth has been driven by every one of us, not just me as an MD, but we have an incredible team, a really amazing team. And my co-founder as well has been very effective in supporting the vision to drive growth for the company. We grew exponentially in our first year. We met what we were meant to make and what we were meant to achieve in terms of revenue and scale for the company in the third year. We did achieve in the first year. And our business proposals and plans had us achieving certain numbers in terms of revenues, in terms of client base, for 3 years after we had started, looking into 2017, 2018. But interestingly, in the first year, we were able to achieve a lot, and some of the key things we would agree drove those growths were, I think, firstly, the market. The market was, the Nigerian market is very interesting. The market was ripe, was ready for some of the ideas we came up with in terms of digital marketing and solutions. The market was just ready. Literally every client you go to, every office you visited, had some need in the digital space. That was quite critical. Number two was our relationships. We had quite an interesting, and we're still building interesting relationships with partners, with clients, with the industry, and most importantly, even our staff, the team we work with. Clearly, from day one, we had a very small team of about 4 of us, and from day one, we knew clearly what we needed to achieve. We are literally a 360-degree digital agency. So to some clients, we may be a web expert, to another we may be a marketing expert, to another we may just be strategy, to another we may be social, to another we may be content. So wherever the need comes, wherever the opportunity lies, right, we're quite efficient through these areas of services that we offer. So everyone knows me, or rather, people who know every time I get to speak, I always talk about the fact that I'm not a big fan of funding. and for the following reasons. Firstly, the market, especially in technology or digital, the market is very fast-paced. Whilst you're waiting a year or 2 or 3 years to get that funding, be it locally or internationally, your idea could become obsolete. You could lose the first mover advantage. And thirdly, the funding may never come. So what I encourage people is this, especially for startups. I know some big ventures, some big ideas need heavy capital to start, heavy business to start. However, if you get funding that are very flexible, that doesn't put pressure on your system, on your structure. Because as a startup, you need to breathe. Funding many a times doesn't give you that ability to breathe, to experiment, to drive, to be bold, to be courageous. And you need that as an entrepreneur. It doesn't. So what happens many a times is, and I hear this from when we get to speak with startups as well, I hear this clearly that you receive funding your first round, you're waiting for your second round. That comes maybe in 18 months or 2 years. But then again, there's certain KPIs or milestones you need to meet. Now, our economy as well is also very, very volatile. Hence, the reason why, whilst a business may look very promising, and we've seen it in technology, in digital, an e-commerce idea may look very promising in the first 1 to 3 years. And in the third or fourth year, it's not as promising as it looks. Our exchange rates, our currency, all of those things are not very stable. So we have a very up-down economy. And then your funding may mean a lot. So for example, a typical example, $10,000 could mean a lot 2 years ago. Well, once you receive the second round of funding, say it's $10,000 in 2017, the realities are all changed, right? Running the business is more expensive as well. So how do you take that second funding you've received? So if you build your model or your structure to depend so much on funding and support, I'm not really sure how much you're going to stay in the system. However, I encourage that you bootstrap. It is more rewarding, it is more reliable, it's more challenging. And challenges, for me and for what I believe, is that it helps you to look deep within, to see where you can milk in your structure, or rather in your market. It helps you to look at your quick wins. It helps you to re-strategize and retool even your processes as well. So yes, I would encourage people to stay away from funding the best way they can. If you must get it from friends or families, or from structures that are very, very flexible. And unfortunately, most of the fundings that startups and businesses get in Nigeria, and a lot of them that we know that's popular, that's been talked about, they're not very flexible funding. And again, if anything happens to the businesses, many of the founders and owners or co-founders are not necessarily walking away with a good reward, right? So yes, I encourage that you find a way to start small, but truly scale fast. And again, get some quick wins, because I think at the end of the day, that's what really puts you in business. So interestingly, it gets a bit very complex these days to differentiate a digital marketing agency. But the good thing is that we are much more than that, because we create products, we innovate products, platforms, and solutions. So I think that's one. Our differentiating point is the fact that we develop platforms, products, and solutions, not just for clients, but internally. So for example, in 2015, we launched an events platform, technology platform called Eventiso. In 2016, we launched lands.ng, and it's basically an online place where you have lands put up. And then in partnership with another client and partner of ours. And then this is 2017, we're working on something around social commerce, social payments. for example. So then again, every year we've told ourselves that there's certain products and certain places we want to innovate and bring new ideas. And the products are all taken up rightly and picking up with the right momentum. Some of them already bringing in good profits for us. So that's one of the areas. Secondly is about our zeal to perform. Performance is something that is still very low in our industry. You'll get to hear people tell us, oh yeah, I spent X amount of money running the campaign and I couldn't get this. We try to pride ourselves, and with the clients we've worked with, that we're focused on growth, on performance. We are extremely driven by performance. So the questions we ask, they're quite different when we take a brief or when we have a new client. They're quite different. And sometimes some of our clients even we get paid based on how far we've performed, not just on a flat fee or on an agency fee, for example. So we have a performance fee as well. So it helps us in our model and our structure. Lastly, we choose what to build on. One thing that's big in our industry that is people get to miss, especially with developers, is that we don't build rightly. We don't build rightly. For example, we do not have the structure to build a high consumer-based product that would go viral. We do not. I give an example. It is hard to build a Snapchat or a Twitter in Nigeria, for example, that will go global. And the success of those platforms rely heavily on their viral effect, on the network structure that you can find probably in the US, in Silicon, and in other places. We do not have that structure. But we see people who are building solutions in that effect, right? Also, we have a lot of e-commerce platforms, but because we do not have the right funds and structure to push a very good idea on e-commerce, it's always very hard. So yes, we have the numbers in terms of our population as a country, but we necessarily do not have some certain level of structure and even perhaps to say expertise, also network and networks that would help us achieve this, right? So I think it's very, very important that we start building rightly. So again, we've been differentiated in our space by building rightly, building solutions and platforms that would, that can easily, with what we have locally, can easily take us to the next level. I think some words I would want to say to startups and entrepreneurs is basically, we really don't know it all, right? We're all on a journey. There are things we would try and would fail, but at the end of the day, make sure you discover, make sure you follow, make sure you feed on what you've discovered, and make sure you obey your passions. Another thing that's critical is you have to really know your onion, know your craft. Again, you have to study, you have to practice, and most importantly, you have to venture. And just keep repeating it, because if you study and practice without venturing, it's not complete. So make sure you venture no matter what happens. Also, is to let you know that your passions really are your permissions. So in the space that we're in now in Nigeria, we're really not given a lot of permissions from the market, from the government, from even our clients. Nobody really gives you a lot of opportunities. But you always have to know that your passion is your permission to venture and to do what you really want to do. Thank you.